Hello everyone. I just wanted to hop on today, and I've been thinking a lot about the holidays and taking care of ourselves during this time. I got my holiday earrings on, and I wanted to share with you, hi Kaya. I wanted to share with you 5 self-care tips for the holidays. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So the first tip I have is something, hello counselor. Let's see, is it Alicia? Hi. The first self-care tip for the holidays that I wanted to share was actually inspired by the Bad Moms Christmas sequel. So I was watching that movie, and let's see, I think Mila Kunis's character, her mom says, for the holidays, moms give joy, they don't enjoy. And obviously it's a comedy and she's a very exaggerated character, but I do think that, hi Kate, as parents, we can get really caught up in just taking care of our kids and providing a magical experience for them and forget about ourselves. A lot of times there's family obligation in terms of different holiday traditions and, relatives that you need to see, and that can sort of get in the way of figuring out your own holiday traditions. Welcome everyone. Hi Elizabeth and Adonica. So I think it's really important to think about making sure that you carve out time to give yourself your own joy and to think about the things that fill you up during the holidays. So that would be my first holiday self-care tip, is to make sure that that you're taking care of yourself and giving yourself joy in addition to all the other people that you're caring for in your life. So my second tip is, depending on what kind of holiday you celebrate, I think we can all go a little wild trying to create this wonderful magical experience for our kids. Especially during this pandemic, we might feel an extra pressure to create something even more magical and special for them. But try to think about what it is that you can do that also won't take too much of a toll on you. So keeping it realistic. I know for myself, a lot of people do Elf on the Shelf and very elaborate holiday traditions, and I haven't done that yet because I just know for me that would just take a little too much planning and thinking, and we've come up with other ways to have holiday fun that feel realistic for me. So I think looking at your plate this year and really thinking, is this realistic? Hello, everyone. So that's my second holiday tip. My third one is if you're in a relationship and parenting that you might have some conflict over who you're going to see for the holidays and different sort of risk tolerance based on the pandemic. And I did a poll today about that, and it said about 40% of people were having a conflict with their partner. Hi, everyone. About, who to see for the holidays and what feels safe and how to do that. And I know in my own circle as well, that's been an issue for people. Different families are responding to the virus in different ways, taking more or less precaution. And that can really cause conflict between the parents around what you're going to do for the holidays. So one tip for that, because that's a big thing to, hello millennial mama, that is a big thing to take on. But one tip that can be useful that we often use in couples therapy is a tip around compromising. And so the way that can look is just acknowledging that no person in the relationship has the right to bulldoze the other person and just create that decision 100%. But what you can do as a partner is go back and forth and say, this is what I think would work for you, and I also think it would work for me. And you sort of advocate for whatever your idea is in that compromise, showing that you're thinking of your partner and what things about that would appeal to them. And then obviously sharing with them what things about that appeal to you and make you feel comfortable and safe. And you just go back and forth like that until you get unstuck and can find an answer. It's hard with young children to do that because the kids are often around and you want to have some privacy to have that discussion. And I also recommend not having it too late at night, because just like our kids, we get more cranky and it's harder for us to be compassionate and listen actively when it's too late at night. And again, that might be something that looks easier said than done. You might try it out and it doesn't go so well. So there's always more resources, whether it be books or support through a religious organization or couples counseling that can help you navigate some of those things. All right, so I think that is my fourth tip. I think it was keep it simple, the couples tip, making sure to give yourself joy. And then I think something else that's really important is staying connected to our friends. This time can really become a lot about our family. And that's wonderful. But I noticed for me, once that sort of Thanksgiving through New Year's stretch hits, I'm not talking to my friends as much, and I don't feel as good. I don't, feel as joyful because my friends are so important to me. And also when you're back with your family, a lot of people really feel like they get pulled back into those old roles from when they were a kid with their family of origin. So something else that you can do is just really, hi Amira, is to make sure to stay connected to your friends during this time. So that can be really helpful too. And then I think my last tip would be, in addition to staying connected to your friends, is come up with a backup plan. So I used to work a lot in the eating disorder field, and obviously the holidays are a really tough time because there's a lot of emphasis around food, and a lot of stress for people around food, even people without disordered eating. So what I recommend is having a backup plan. So if you're going to be with a relative that's triggering for you, or you're doing something that you know that's going to be stressful, and you may not be, but if you are, to let one of your friends know, hello there, Kinetic Wellness, that you might be texting them or calling them for a little bit of a break. And hi, mental health blogger. When we think about that, our backup plans, we want to have resources that we can use no matter what, that aren't dependent on other people. And we also want to bring other people into that. So the wonderful part about having a friend that can be there for you and letting them know up front is that you're sharing that with them, you're sharing that stress with them, opening up and getting support from a safe person. And that in and of itself can be just all that you need. But just in case, even though that person knows that you might be texting or calling that day, just in case they're not available, you also want to have a backup plan that you can do no matter what. Hi, meditation, Hancock Park. And so that might be taking a break and going for a walk, taking a break and doing a meditation app, taking a break to scroll on Instagram. But just think about what those things are that can be a little bit of an escape hatch for you if you need, if you know you're going to be going into a stressful situation for the holidays. And I think the last thing I would add, I would say a sixth tip here I've really been thinking about. I don't talk a lot about, hi Cabrina from Scratch Made, is financial wellness, because that's not really my area of expertise, but that is part of our holistic thinking around self-care. And so when it comes to the holidays, that would be really important to create a budget that works for you and to be really realistic around your budgeting. And I'm not the expert to come to on that in terms of tips. And if you guys have any accounts that you love, I really like the Financial Diet, but I'm sure there's plenty others. Hi, Kaya. Go ahead and drop them in the comments, because I'd love to hear if you guys have any great resources for that, because I think that's something we all need to be mindful of. And the best gifts are usually experiences or thoughtful cards, or really, so bad it's good art that our kids make for relatives. And so there's so many things that you can do that are lower cost or free, that are just more thoughtful. And lots of cool things, and you guys can share this in the comments too, that you can do online, like creating video messages where you can string together videos from different people, and just really thoughtful things that don't cost anything, but obviously took some time for you to create and can be really meaningful for people. So if you guys have any questions too about holiday self-care tips, leave them in the comments and let me know. I love to get questions too. And then I thought I'd do a quick holiday gift guide. So I'm segueing into this after talking about financial wellness. So the reality is, I think a lot of the best gifts don't cost a lot of money, and self-care doesn't need to be expensive. In fact, we want it to be those small, regular things like journaling or meditation or being with our friends, reading books that can all be free. So that's my caveat before I do this gift guide. But if you are looking for some things, hi Mary, to get for people that's really focused on wellness and nourishing yourself, I brought some stuff from Parent Self-Care and some other things that I will be gifting to people this year. So let's see, maybe I'll first start with journals. A lot of you really liked this journal from the work from home self-care that I did. It's called Unwind Every Day, and it is by Chronicle Books. I love them because they're a local publisher in San Francisco, and you can get it on their website, or you can also get it on Amazon. And it has different tips, 365 tips. So you have one for every day of the year. And I just turned to a random page here. It says make an ambitious recipe or make your favorite snack. And then once you do it, you say the date you did it, you write any notes about it. but it's really good for self-care inspiration when you're feeling a little bit stuck with new ideas. So I like this one, and I just think the cover is really beautiful. The other one I really love is the 5-minute journal, and I tend to do shorter style journaling. So if that's something that people like, this might be a good gift. Hi, About Law. And thank you, Cabrina. I saw you added something in there for financial wellness. Thank you. So what I like about this is it's just really simple, but it has an inspirational quote or a suggestion for you. It asks you to think about 3 things you're grateful for. And this is the morning journal part. So you're sort of setting your intentions for the day. And then it says, what would make today great? 3 things that would make today great. A daily affirmation. And then at night, once the day is over, you get time to reflect. So 3 great things that happened. And that reminds me of, and I'll get to this book later, but Shauna Shapiro's Magical Morning Question. So priming your mind to notice the unexpected and wonderful things. And then how you could have made today even better. So you can sort of reflect on your day. I know for me, a lot of times it'll be less time on my phone or making sure to prioritize sleep. And it helps you be a little bit more mindful of those things that you know are going to make you feel better. And then in terms of supporting small, this is a therapist that I found on Instagram that I love, Michelle, and she has the Self-Explore, Self-Restore journal. I really like this. So I ordered it from her because I just enjoyed her page, but she just has different prompts in here. Like, think of 4 of your favorite ways to spend a day off. Describe 3 practices that help you feel organized. So that gets into that organizational self-care. And I'll link all of this in the notes. Reflect on signs that you're in a safe relationship. So I give a lot of relational self-care tips, and I talk about making sure to do that with a trusted person or a safe person. But sometimes you need to take a step back and think about, how do I even identify who those people are in my life? So I really like this book. She's got some self-compassion prompts and different things in here. I've really enjoyed this one. So for books, Good Morning, I Love You is one of my favorite mindfulness books, and Dr. Shauna Shapiro was my teacher when I was in graduate school. And I like this book. It's a new book. It's hardcover. It's got a nice gold on there, so it feels like a nice gift to give somebody. And it's just got really practical tips in here around meditation, bringing more joy in your life, more clarity, mindfulness, self-compassion, so all those great things. And I like that it's just broken up into those different categories, and you can just read a chapter or a section. You don't have to go from start to finish. And then for any of you where it's a little bit newer, the neuroscience about why mindfulness is so powerful, she really breaks down the science in a way that is accessible. And for anybody who might think that meditation or some of these things that we do, compassion practices, aren't science-based and evidence-based, they are. So I think she does a really lovely job blending the science, but also making it really an enjoyable read. So I love this book. My other favorite is Stand Tall Like a Mountain by Susie Reading. She's got lots of other self-care books too. I just got another one that I need to dive into. But what I really like about this is that this focuses on the family, and it focuses on so many areas of self-care. So she talks about environmental self-care and looking at your home, emotional self-care, our relationships. And then she's really specialized in yoga, and she's also a personal trainer. So she's really wonderful tips around how to move your body for mental health. So that could be, different stretches or yoga poses that are calming or energizing, or can help you sort of get rid of that stuck energy. So I've used a lot of her stuff too with adults around how to move your body when you're working from home and we're not walking around as much. So I really recommend this. And then another awesome book that I discovered through Instagram is called She Votes. And this is How U.S. Women Won Suffrage and What Happened Next. And this is by Bridget Quinn. And you'll know from my account that I love art, and that's a big part of my self-care. Creating art, finding new artists that I like. I think that's why I like Instagram so much, because it's so visual and I follow a lot of artists. And she features all these female artists in here. So she'll be sharing different parts of history, and you have all these beautiful illustrations and pieces of art that you can go through. And I just think we've been through such a historic election, and politics is so front and center for everybody, and social justice and voter suppression and all these things. And so I think that's just a really wonderful, beautiful coffee table book, but also packed with a lot of great information. And drop in the comments too if there's anything that you're loving gifting to people for the holidays, because I love getting new ideas too. So then I thought I'd share some of my parent self-care merchandise, because I've got a sale up now, so everything's 30% off on the Teespring shop, and then my ebook is 40% off if you want to grab that or get that for somebody very eco-conscious. But I've got tote bags in different designs, and this is the self-care one. So you've got like a cute reminder of self-care, and it's a good size for you for groceries and different things. And then I've got my mugs, because mindful coffee in the morning is a big part of my self-care. And this is the Serenity mug that Emily Doliner designed, and she designed my ebook, and it's so cute. And then I've got my self-compassion mug, which says, "Good morning, I love you." One of them says, "Hello, sunshine." And the reason I chose this is two-part. So one is the beautiful practice from Shauna Shapiro that talks about waking up in the morning and building self-compassion by putting your hand on your heart and just saying, "Good morning, I love you," when you first wake up. And that's such a simple, practical, quick practice that over time really yields these amazing benefits of self-compassion and calm and joy. And this design reminds me of that with the sun. And then the other one is BJ Fogg's work in Tiny Habits, which I love. He talks about those small things that you can do to bring more sustainable change into your life. And one of his first habits that he created was called the Maui habit. And that is just waking up in the morning, and when you first put your feet on the ground, when you get out of the bed, you just say, "Today's going to be a great day." And the reason he named it that, hi child mental health, the reason he named it that is because when you're in Maui, everybody wants to have a great day. And so it's called the Maui habit. So that sun design that Emily Doliner did for me, and I have it on a hoodie that's really soft, a t-shirt, and also a tote bag, reminds me of both of those practices. And they're just really fun visual reminders about some of the things that really work for me. Hi, little hearts, mobile play. So that's it. Unless there's any questions, those were my 6. I went to 6 instead of 5. 6 tips for holiday self-care, and then some of the goodies that I'm really loving for holiday gifting this year. But like I said, the best gifts are the ones that are very low cost or free or provide an experience. So these are just fun things that if you're thinking of, I think can be really meaningful and lovely. I love teachers. But nothing that you need to get, obviously, to feel joyful and support the holiday season. So I think I'll wrap up with today, just going back to that quote from that Bad Mom sequel movie that made me think of doing this live, and I'm creating more content for this on my posts, but just to think about giving yourself joy in addition to creating joyful experiences for your loved ones, because you're important too, and everybody does better in the house when you're feeling good. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. Thank you for joining today.